Hi guys, Shelly here. I have promised some of you to show you how I finish the edges of my quilts before I put my binding on. I know a lot of you are enjoying putting that binding on with your number 71 foot, but I finish the edges of these quilts once they're already quilted with the backing, the batting, and the top. As soon as I get a fresh cut on it, I put the number 2 or the number 2A, because I'm on a 9mm foot or machine, on and use the overlock stitch. So I choose stitch number 3 on a BERNINA and foot number 2, and I just go around the edges. So I want to show you what the bottom of this foot looks like. It's got a little pin, and that little pin is what keeps the tension so that when the stitch goes back and forth from side to side like this, it's held perfectly flat because that pin is keeping it taut, keeping the tension on that thread. And then that stitch just flows off of this little pin to the back. The thread just goes through like this and comes off. So it flows off the back. Now, when you turn a corner, you'll find that it's still caught on that, and you just pull it off and then turn the corner. But when you stitch with this, you want to make sure that the edge of your fabric is right under that pin, just like you can see it here. So the stitch will go off of the fabric on the right and onto the fabric on the left. And that little pin will hold it taut and secure. And that way, when your stitch is finished, your edges haven't buckled or tunneled. They're really flat. And that's because of the way that stitch is formed. So it makes a really nice flat stitch on the edge. Now, these I'll trim later. These blocks that I'm doing this on will get cut down later, but I plan on traveling with them as samples, and I don't want these edges to get rough together. This will be a quilt as you go using the Westerly rulers. It's a quilt as you go piece. But for now, I needed them under control, and that's the way I do it. So I always do it like this when I'm going to put the binding on, and that way I never have any issues of wondering if all 3 layers are caught and ready to go into that binding. So that's what I use, is the number 2 foot and the number 3 stitch, that overlock stitch, and it just works like a charm. So I'll let you see it stitch real quick, and then you can run off and try it yourself. So here we go. I'm going to lower the foot. Make sure that it is, the little pin is at the edge of the fabric. And so you can see that it's going off the fabric and on the fabric, and encapsulating that edge. I don't worry when I get to the corner about what that corner looks like. That's dealt with later in making your miters or doing something else. I just raise the foot, turn the corner, get it going again, and just so that it's on and off, on and off. Now, one other thing, because there's 3 layers, I did lower my presser foot pressure just so that it would flow nicer under the foot. So standard on this, I stitch on a BERNINA 880. Standard presser foot pressure is a amount of 50, and so I lowered it to 30, which is the amount of presser foot pressure I prefer when I'm working with 3 layers. So anyway, there you go. The number 2A is how I finish the edges of all my quilts before I bind them. Talk to you later. Shelly with Sew Shelly Quilts.